How am I going to do this? Okay, so we are live here, and I am up. I got to change one of my settings. And we are live. Welcome to Love and Money Secrets TV. I'm your host, Dame Lillian Walker, and I am doing a impromptu video to answer. I've had 4 people in a row reach out to me asking questions about specific meditation practices where they feel that they are not, they feel like they're not doing something right. And this is something that is so common that I wanted to address this immediately. After I had the 4th person in a row, they're from different places that they're reaching out to me. All students, I don't remember right now if they're advanced students or if they're not advanced students, but this is a common frustration. And so I'm going to read to you, I'm just going to say the person's name is JN. And she said she wants to open up the conversation about meditating into the void. And she says, here's my experience. I'm either not deep, can switch to a thought, my body or sound very easily, or I don't know if I've fallen asleep. I've had to overcome many frustrations from the retreats where everyone has mystical experiences or leaves their body, and I'm there going, I fell asleep. I'm not judging myself anymore. I just keep trying, but I would love to hear from others. This work is having a positive impact in my life regardless, so I assume that this is how it is here. Now I'm saying all of this. It was 3 a.m. here, and I will go in again this afternoon to see if the experience is different. However, even in all my other meditations, my deepness is somewhat missing. I stopped looking for it a while back, but I would love to discuss this. So this is what I answered, and then I'm going to speak to you extemporaneously just from the heart. So I answered her. I know and feel your frustration because it's true. All of us who have meditated, when you first meditate, you don't know really what you're doing. You don't know what you're supposed to be feeling. And you're really in a place of, you're not only figuring out how to do this meditation thing, but you're in the process of getting to know who you truly are and the differentiation of your awareness versus your ego mind and your brain. And I got to tell you, it took me years to distinguish my awareness from ego and brain, because I would equate my brain and the ego as one and the same, along with my body. I didn't know to separate my ego. And how do you distinguish that versus my brain, the organ, which is the vibrational frequency interpreter, which is also the storage cabinet for my conscious and my subconscious mind, and to record all the vibratory feelings as a result of the senses into my body. And so if somebody would have explained it to me as these are the different components and this is how you differentiate them, I would have fast tracked a lot of this. Plus, there's a few other things that I've learned over many, many years that have helped me get results faster. So let me tell you what I responded to her. So I said, Jay, I know and feel your frustration because I was there before too. The trick is not to be attached to any outcome when you do a meditation. It sounds contradictory, of course, to set an intention, which is an attention inward, and then to not be attached. But as you go in, you are unattached to the outcome. So let's say you're setting an intention as an example. Let's say you had a neck injury. So you're setting an intention to heal your neck, but you're not attached to healing. You're not obsessively attached to healing the neck. You're just like, okay, this is what I'm going to suggest to my brain to heal. And I'm open to any and all healings in any way, shape, or form. Whatever way the divine infinite source intelligence chooses to do the healing in whatever order, if it feels that it needs to do something emotional, psychological, relational, physiological, doesn't matter. However it chooses to go about it, that's not my thing. This is what I would like to have healed. Whatever needs to be revealed, let it be revealed. So that is your intention. Attention inward is intention. So you set the intention to heal, and I put, for example, and you leave it up to the divine to heal whatever in your body in whatever order, trusting that overall healing is always taking place. That's the other thing. You need to know that whether you feel something or not, if you become aware of something or not, 100% of the time that you do a meditation, it's always beneficial. There is always healing. Just the breathing alone begins to heal you. So then after you set the visualization and intention in the 5D, once you've quieted the mind and you've gone into the 5D, you add the elevated emotion of love because you're bringing your breathing up, you're opening your heart, you're projecting and moving forward a feeling of love to the divine. And then you feel that elevated emotion of love. And as you say, I set the intention, I want to heal the pain in my neck, I want to heal my neck, not necessarily heal the pain in my neck. I would say I want to heal my neck because you don't want to retain the pain. You want to let go of the pain and have your neck be healed. And so you set the intention for that. I want to heal my neck. And then you're like, thank you, thank you, thank you. You have gratitude, you have appreciation. You're like, yes, I've got my order in. This is how we do it. I got this. Yes, yes, yes. And then you let it go. And I said here, and right before you return, you continue with the elevated emotion until your eyes are open. And then in gleeful anticipation, you think and you feel after the meditation is done, yes, it's done. I got the order in. I don't know how, I don't know when, and it doesn't matter, but I know I am expecting a surprise and a sign soon. Oh my gosh, I have so many surprises in line in my life, my little 5D quantum box or your 5D quantum vortex, whatever language you want to call it. And I know it's coming. So for people, I think for a lot of people, it helps to think that there is a 5D quantum box that you're depositing this stuff in when you're going into your meditation. So you might want to picture yourself writing on a piece of paper. This part I didn't tell her, but I'm going to give her this video. You might want to picture yourself that you've typed out or that you've handwritten, heal my neck, and then have my body be in 100% healthy, optimized shape. So I feel full of energy, happy and joyous and prosperous. Take that paper, you put it in a box that you see as the 5D box in your mind's eye, and then you close it and you're like, yes, I did it. It's done. The order's in. Don't know where, don't know how, but the order is in. So now you know you're going to be surprised somewhere, somehow, anytime from this moment moving forward. And then you let it go. Now, let me finish reading this because there's a really, I'm sorry, my bracelets are making a lot of noise. So I'm just going to take them off. I apologize for that. So, okay, so let's see. The mystical experiences are oftentimes surprises which come out of nowhere, which she was asking how to have the mystical experience. So that's why I'm telling her this. I learned that every time I saw something moving, if I saw moving colors or a geometric figure that moved like it was alive, that those were packets of information waiting to be downloaded. So I learned not to take a closer look because they instantly disappear when you try anything. Anytime you effort in a meditation, if you try to take a closer look, you see something spectacular, and then you move in to look closer, it automatically disappears. It's the most frustrating thing to learn in meditation is to not take a closer look, to try and see something more clearly. The moment you try and see something more clearly, it vanishes. 100% of the time, it vanishes, and you can't go back. You can't unring that bell. You can't recreate whatever that was in the same way. Every single time your meditations are different. You can never recreate. I tried to recreate something and it doesn't work. It just halts your meditative practice where your body just gets a lower level of healing, but you don't progress, where you don't see anything, you don't sense anything, you don't perceive or are aware of any kind of download. So that's kind of frustrating. At least for me, it was frustrating. And I would sense that this person is also frustrated as well. So the mystical experiences are oftentimes surprises which come out of nowhere, which is true. I learned that every time I saw something moving, colors or geometrical figures that moved like they were alive, that they were packets of information waiting to be downloaded. I learned that I would see those geometrical figures, and before I went to the 7-day advance, I would try and take a closer look, and they would evaporate. The first time I went to the monastery, that's when I learned that those were packets of information. They're really extraordinary looking, I might say, and really cool to look at. And so it was Dr. Joe who informed me that that's packet of information. It's like DNA packets of information that are waiting to be downloaded. All you have to do is just continue to be the awareness and allow it to unfold, and don't be afraid of it. Knock on wood, I'm usually not afraid, in meditation. Although I must say it is really weird. It's a strange sensation when you have that. I have a feeling oftentimes in meditation when I go really deep where I kind of feel like my energy body is being pulled out of the back of my head, and I go kind of like really fast. It's not a 90-degree angle. It's like a 45-degree angle, like out in quantum space this way. It's kind of hard to describe. I'm sure everybody feels something different. So I literally feel like I get pulled back. And then I know I'm off to, I have no idea where, but I know that I'm gone. Where I go, I have no idea. So let me keep on reading what I answered to her so that you guys also hear this. Okay, I learned not to take a closer look because they instantly disappear when you were trying anything, or to try to take a closer look. The only thing you can do is remain as an awareness. And what I actually say in my mind is when I see a geometrical figure, or if I see swirling energy or colors moving, which oftentimes I see 2, 3 colors moving, like it's usually like in this position, and the geometrical figures seem to be over here. I don't know why the positioning is that. I'm just telling you what I've experienced. So I say in my mind now, when I see those things, I now know what the color information, the colored energy moving, I now know what that is. For me, I know that it's a specific angel depending on the colors that it is. I didn't know that for a long time. I wish somebody would have told me. So the first 2 colors that I saw were like a limey green and a purple, a real like regal colored purple. So I learned that because of my asking in meditation over several meditations, it was revealed to me specifically what angel that was. And then the geometric information, I never thought to ask if it has a name or anything, because I know that names don't really exist in the quantum realm. So that really becomes something quite irrelevant. So the key is to surrender. And so in my mind, in meditation, I say, I surrender, I let go. I'm willing to receive whatever is wanting to be revealed to me right now. I'm ready. And bam, the next thing you know, the mystical happens. Now, when you say I'm ready, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what you're going to see. You don't know what you're going to sense. Everything is completely unknown. The point is you're willing to dive in to that experience, to go further in your meditative practice to see what's beyond whatever is at that moment in time. That's really all you're doing, is you're allowing yourself to move to the next level, density, dimension, whatever it's called. I don't really know what it's called. You're just willing to allow yourself to go deeper. You can coax it along for fun by imagining or imaging things that are far out, but sometimes it just takes a while to get into the zone where we fully relax and are okay not requiring anything. And that really is a key, is to let go and to surrender and not require anything. Don't put pressure on yourself. Don't put pressure, period. The other thing I will confess is that with every meditation, and this is something that I do with 100% of my meditations, I call in all my angels, all the intergalactic nobility, the Federation of Light, the Council, any healing energy. I don't care from what dimension, what density, what plane of existence, doesn't matter. If it's a healing energy that exists in any way, shape, or form, I'm calling it in, not just when it's a matter of healing me, but whenever I'm doing a healing for another person, if I'm just meditating to broadcast love to another individual, whatever the case might be, I just call in all those energies because it is for the greater good of all. So I call it in from whatever plane of existence to come in to do a healing, whether it's for me or another person, like I said, that invitation seems to bring in some pretty magical, loving energies. And I've seen some pretty, I've seen, I've, and I've seen some pretty amazing things. And I've traveled to dimensions I never knew of. And at the time, I would have never even asked to go there because I didn't know that they existed. So simply because I didn't know enough to ask, but after visiting and having information revealed during a mystical experience, now I can tap into it. I can deal with the beings and whatever it was that I saw there. Not that I know a lot, because I still am barely scratching the surface there, but I know a little bit better on how to at least call in the beings. At least I feel familiar with them. And it's at a different level. And I'm sure more will be revealed in time. At least that's my hope and my desire. I hope this makes sense also. I also gave a tip when you start your meditation. This is really important because we are made of over 70 to 80% water. So when you start a meditation, you want to take 16 ounces of water. You want to bless it with love. In my case, I don't have my water. I don't have my water anywhere handy here where I could show you, but I actually have a glass water bottle, and I actually have a heart. I have some symbols that have to do with love, like infinite love, that is on the water bottle. And I actually bless the water before my meditation. And then I drink as much to my satisfaction. I don't have to finish the whole bottle, but that helps the energy flow in your body. So I drink it till I'm satisfied. And then as I begin my meditation, I always draw my eyeballs up. I'm basically looking up into my head, up into my eyebrows, and then I close my eyes. By putting that position and looking up throughout the meditation and keeping my eyes up like that, and you'll notice that when you do that, your eyelids kind of flutter a little bit. That's okay. That's the same position that your eyeballs are in when you are in a REM, rapid eye movement state, and a theta, and even gamma state, sometimes even delta state. So this is going to facilitate your going into theta quicker. And it's going to make your brain waves move at the vibrational frequency and get into heart. It'll help you get into heart and brain coherence. It'll like click faster. So if you remember to do that, and also to take the tip of your tongue and put it at the roof of your palate, I would say more towards the back of your palate, but you need to find the spot. And it takes a little bit of practice. It took me a long time to figure out. I still sometimes play around with it, but it works good enough. You're going to put your tongue at the roof of your palate because this connects your spinal cord. There's the connection of your spinal cord energy and your brain. And you're going to close the loop by putting your tongue at the roof of your mouth. I believe the term for this is called Bagda or Vagda. I'm not exactly sure how to spell it. Way back when, I believe Bert Goldstein was the one who I learned this from 7 or 8 years ago. And I believe it's some sort of, in Hinduism, I think it's part of their yogi practice. Not sure about the spelling, but you can research that. Google it, check it out. It's kind of hidden. You really have to Google and dig deep to find the information, unfortunately. But I think if you persevere, you'll find it. Like I said, I did that research maybe 7 or 8 years ago. It was back in 2010, 11, 12, 13, somewhere in there. I don't remember exactly. So you'll have to experiment, like I said, with the placement, whatever works for you, because I guess that's just kind of how it is. I think that's probably why the information is so hidden and why they're vague about the exact positioning. You have to find that spot where you feel, and you can muscle test yourself for this so that you know. It's like you can do different positions, and I'll do another video on the muscle testing. I don't want to get into that right now. So I hope this helps you guys. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about this, again, some people they're feeling frustrated with the fact that, all these other people are having these mystical experiences. And sometimes you feel left out when, especially when you're in the monastery. This particular person was actually in the monastery for 7 days. And even though they felt other things, they didn't feel a mystical experience. As for those of us who have been to this advanced training, we know that there have been plenty of people who have been healed without any mystical experience. They felt and sensed other things. Some of them felt nothing other than when the time came that they knew that they were healed, they felt that something happened, they felt a shift. And then some of them actually some of them waited a few days before they confirmed that they were healed. Others waited till they got home and then came back and said, oh my gosh, yeah, I thought that I may have been healed on the fourth day, the fifth day. I got back home and sure enough, I'm still healed. I really am healed. It's different for everybody. So mystical experiences that can ultimately happen to everyone. No one is kept from that experience. But there are these things that I share with you are a few things that I noticed that really helped me. It collapsed timeframes for me, which is why I'm doing this video, which is why I want to share this with you. The programming of the water, that really helps because the energy can it can flow and move inside your body more readily and easily because you're hydrated, so the electrons can travel faster. And then it replenishes your cerebral spinal fluid quicker as well. The proteins and the salts and the electrolytes that are actually in the cerebral spinal fluid and then it helps your blood flow because your blood actually gets thicker the more dehydrated you are. There's all sorts of technical stuff. I don't want to kind of get into that because that's not what this video is about. This video is about the steps that you can take that will help you move forward. So what I wrote to her, I will put in the description of this video so you guys can read it as well as listen to this video. And I hope that this helps you guys. And I will do a separate video where I talk specifically more about having the distinction and then thinking in the same way about your conscious awareness. You'll notice every single video I do, I always talk about my conscious awareness and I always refer to it from this side because when I go into meditation, I feel that my conscious awareness is on this side. So I acknowledge it. I don't doubt it. I don't second guess my intuition. That's where I feel it. I sense that my ego is always coming from this direction. For whatever reason, it's coming from this direction. And my ego's like, oh, but what are you doing wrong? Or you're not doing it right, or you're not breathing right, or you're not breathing deep enough, or whatever the criticism is, whatever the complaint is, whatever the negative energy that's coming from the ego. I know that if it's a negative energy, if it's a critical, judgmental, frustrated, nervous, annoying, angry, whatever kind of thing that's like that, anything that's other than you're doing great, you're doing awesome, the ego is never going to tell you you're doing great, you're doing awesome. Never. For some reason, that wasn't programmed into your ego. So by default, anything negative, unpleasant, hey, ego, even doubt, which it's your ego when anger and fear and frustration and nervousness, which are the obvious confrontational type of thoughts and feelings, when you manage those, then it tries to use subtler energies as in doubt. Oh, is it possible that maybe you're not doing this right? Is it possible that you didn't do this long enough? You didn't breathe. Instead of 3 breaths, maybe you should have done 10, and maybe you would have had a mystical experience had you done 3. See, you didn't do enough. Guess what? That's not a loving thought. It's not as obvious, but the ego gets crafty. Once you recognize the more full frontal attacks, it knows, oh, she's on to us. The full frontal is not going to work. So that's not going to work. So we need to be slicker, slyer. We need to be more subtle so that we can slip in there and keep her down. And then eventually you'll command that and you'll recognize. And it'll also do that maybe in one aspect of your life and not other aspects of your life. So you have to be aware of that too. So separate from that is the organ of your brain, which has all your past thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And then there's your body. So I'll do a video that just talks specifically about that point. This one is on how to overcome the many frustrations from having attended retreats, where everyone else seems to have mystical experiences. That's not the truth. There's never any event anywhere on the planet where 100% of the people all have mystical experiences and only one person is left out or three people are left out. It's just not true. Now, your ego is going to make you feel like that, but that's not the truth. The truth is that some people had mystical experiences, and probably more didn't have mystical experiences than the ones who did have the mystical experiences. And it's always fascinating to hear what your mystical experience is. And the whole thing about falling asleep, that is a very common thing too. I would say, first of all, always, whenever possible, do your meditation sitting down. Now, that being said, that's not 100% foolproof, because there are going to be times where you do these meditations where I remember doing these meditations with Dr. Joe at the monastery where I was sitting down. I never got to lay down. I just stayed sitting down for, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 hours. And I would go from hearing his voice perfectly well. The next thing I would feel like my neck would go back, and it wouldn't go too far back because of course I was still not, I'm still a little sore from my neck. My neck isn't completely healed yet. So, but I would feel my neck kind of go back, which always would get my attention because obviously I have restriction a little bit in terms of motion. And then I would feel like that energy where it's pulling me back and I'm coming out from the back of my head. That's not to say that that's what you're going to feel. That's what I felt. You may feel something entirely different. But then somewhere between that and my coming back, I don't know where I went, but somewhere, somehow, I was gone. I went somewhere. It was dark. It was in the void. I have no idea where I went. And then I have no idea for how long I went. And then I would return. And the only reason why I could say that I returned was because then I would hear Dr. Joe's voice really faint. He still, who knows what he said in the meditation, because my conscious awareness did not hear him. All of a sudden, he faded out and I was gone. And then I slowly somehow returned. I guess as I'm returning, then his voice starts to get louder and louder and louder. And then my conscious awareness would ask, did I go to sleep or did I go somewhere? Because I really don't know. I know that I was gone. So I may have been gone. I may have been asleep, but I didn't feel asleep like asleep. It was a different feeling. I just know that I was gone and I was questioning, did I go to sleep? I just know that I was gone. And my sense was that I went super far away. Again, to where? I have no idea. But I know that I was gone. And for some reason, I always feel like it's way back that way. I don't know why it's not that way, why it's not this way, why isn't it? I don't know. It's always in that direction. Maybe I should ask Dr. Joe that. I probably should. So those are my experiences. So what I'm here to tell you is don't beat yourself up about allegedly falling asleep. The best thing you can do is fall asleep during a meditation, because the last input that you downloaded into your subconscious mind and your conscious awareness was this positive information from your meditation. If you do meditations every night and then you drift off into sleep, make no mistakes. One of the things that was revealed to me during my March 22nd mystical experience is that every time you go to sleep, whether you go into meditation, it was revealed to me, it's like, oh yeah, those times that you fell asleep in meditation and you realized, oh, I fell asleep in my meditation, where it was obvious. And times where you're just sleeping because you're doing these meditations every day, 100% of the time, they are downloading information to you because they know that you are on purpose connecting with that energy. So anytime you go into on purpose theta state or natural evolutionary theta state or gamma state or delta state, they are going to download that information because you used your free will to on purpose connect with them. them as in the energy of the cosmos, of all that is, the great I am, the universe, God, the creator, whatever you want to call that infinite source intelligence. Okay? So that part of you that wants to beat yourself up because you fell asleep, that's your ego. Your ego going, there you go again. You can't even do this right. Something so simple. Look at you. You fell asleep again. That's your ego. Say, ego, shut up. You're in timeout. Down. And I go down. In my mind, or even out loud, I'll go down. Ego, I'm on to you. No. Yeah, you used to be the master, but remember, I demoted you. I am your master. I demoted you down. You were there. Your darkness now makes my light shine so bright that I can distinguish the difference between the loving me, the loving consciousness that only says loving thoughts to me, and the dark BS crap that you've been feeding me for a lifetime. So thank you for making my light shine brighter. You shut up. You are in timeout. Brain, do as I say. And then we're off to the races. We're taking all of the energy that I have, mastery over my body, my being, my electromagnetic field included, and we're going to make it focus like a laser beam. End of story on whatever it is that I'm choosing to focus it as a laser beam, starting with the energy of love with an open heart, and then you broadcast out whatever it is, healing your neck, projecting love to another person. Maybe you're doing Go Love 20. Whatever the case may be. Maybe you know someone who's in the hospital, you're projecting love to them, you're seeing them as a healthy being. Now they're calling you up over the phone, or people are sending you pictures of them. Look, they're fine. They're like, they had this miraculous recovery. They have no idea. You know, the 3 tumors they thought they found that they verified and triple verified. The doctors say they don't know how, but they miraculously dissolved and disappeared. They doubled, they tripled, they quadruple checked because they positively knew, you know, they were scheduled for surgery and now they're gone. Stuff like this is happening all the time, every single day. So that's it. I hope you like this video. I hope that at least JN, who I'm going to send this video to, and whoever else, there were 4 people actually in a row, and I figured out after the 4th one, I'm like, okay, I'm feeling that this needs to be recorded tonight. So here it is. If you have any questions, any comments, any concerns, put a comment below, and I will be sure to respond. For those of you who have reached out to me on Facebook, we're part of the same FB groups, so you know we are already connected. We already can contact and talk to each other. So that's it. So I say ciao for now. Thank you for tuning in, tapping in, turning on to Love and Money Secrets TV. I hope this is of great help. And if you know of somebody that could benefit from this video, share it with them. I just really want you to get results as soon as possible so that you're encouraged to do it more and go deeper, faster, and that you would have more mystical experiences. Okay, maybe I'll do a heart and brain coherence mystical training to get people up to speed, because we really need this more than ever, because we are in the midst of the golden awakening era, and this whole world could use this. And each person that moves farther along, it increases the vibe of the entire planet and the whole cosmos. So I know this sounds airy-fairy, but these are things that are scientifically proven. So I can't emphasize that enough. Okay, that's it. Ciao.